Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Swab, Mrs. Brewer,
Here.
Mr. Biesecker,
Here.
Mr. Manuel,
Here.
Mrs. Hill.
Here.
I would like to welcome everyone here this evening. Our first item on the agenda is just to review the agenda and approval of the minutes. Do you want me to go over the agenda items? No? Okay. So first I need a motion for item A and B to approve.
So moved.
additions, deletions.
Second.
All right, and Scott, roll call, please.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Biesecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill.
Yes. And next item C, approval of the minutes from the regular board meeting from September 10th. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Holly
Second.
and Trey, roll call, please.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Biesecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill.
Yes.
And now we're going to do our student spotlight for this evening. So we'll turn it over to Mrs. Hetty.
Thank you, everyone, for coming this evening. We got 4 great students to highlight this evening. We're going to start off with our youngest. So our first student spotlight nominated by Mrs. Schmitz is Brooke Rosenbeck. So come on up, Brooke. So Brooke is 7 years old and lives at home with her mom, dad, sister, and their 2 cats. She wants to be a vet when she grows up. Brooke's favorite thing to do at home is play with her sister and watch TV. Her favorite thing to watch is Minnie Mouse. You might be able to tell Minnie Mouse is her favorite character by all her Minnie Mouse clothes. Brooke is an outstanding student to have in the classroom. She is kind, considerate, hardworking, and all around a wonderful person. At school, Brooke loves to learn. She especially loves to learn about math, but reading is her favorite subject. She has the best handwriting in 2nd grade. She is precise and takes her time with all of her work. She is a hard worker in class and will always help other people or ask questions when she is unsure of something. She always puts others first and makes sure to help if there's a problem. Brooke strives to do her best and works hard in and out of the classroom. I look forward to all the amazing things she will do in the future. Congratulations and great job to Brooke. So Brooke, this is for you.
We'll get a picture of it. There you go. Not just like just a little bit because there's a stripe up there.
Maybe up a little. There you go. Perfect. She is so cute this year. She's full smile.
Our next student spotlight is Hudson Hafer. Come on up, Hudson. Congratulations to you, sir. He was nominated by Mrs. Irwin. She said Hudson is a 7-year-old and lives at home with his mom, dad, grandma, siblings, and dog. He enjoys playing with his dog, Tucker, Legos, and eating chicken nuggets. At school, Hudson enjoys subtraction and math. He has always been working hard to learn all of his red words. At school, Hudson is an extremely hard worker. He is always committed to trying and doing his absolute best. What makes him stand out even more is his heart for others. If he could change one thing in the world, he would make sure everyone has access to clean water and food. This shows his compassion and the kind of leader he is becoming. With a love of baseball, it comes by no surprise that Hudson hopes to one day become a professional baseball player. His dedication, energy, and love for the game already shows the heart of a true athlete. I am eager to see what great things Hudson will accomplish this school year. Keep smiling, Hudson. So congratulations, Hudson. There you go.
This is yours.
There you go.
Perfect picture. Moving on to the secondary level, nominated by Mr. Park, we have Kennedy Osborne. Come on up, Kennedy. Kennedy stands out for her strong academic performance, positive attitude, and commitment to going above and beyond. She is not only a hardworking student, but also a supportive peer who contributes to a welcoming classroom environment. Kennedy's love of reading is refreshing to see, as whenever she completes an assignment, more often than not, I will find her reading. Her assignments and classwork show her determination and the effort she puts into her academic success. She is a role model for her classmates and a wonderful example of what it means to truly be Bradford's best. Congratulations to Kennedy. This way.
There you go.
I love you.
Congratulations.
And last but not least, Caden Matthew. Come on up, Caden. Congratulations to you. Caden was nominated by Mr. Koperman. This is the second year I've had Caden in class. He is consistently a top performer academically in the classroom. He is a great leader behaviorally in the classroom as well, and will ask questions when it is necessary. He is a model student that I am very proud of that goes to Bradford. Congratulations to Caden.
Thank you guys very much.
I think they want me to get their pictures
Yes, if
outside,
you
so.
would, you guys don't have to leave, but you're welcome to go now that you're finished.
But I
But
want
she
the
would like
first
to get a picture of all the kids in the hallway, please, of the students.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, congratulations. I just wiped us out, didn't it?
Yeah.
Sure did.
Mr. Barr, do you want to go first for
Sure.
the administrative report?
I was gonna say mine.
Well, I mean, his is up,
Oh,
but I'm,
go ahead.
I'm always ready.
Go ahead, Mr. Daugherty.
So, we made it through Pumpkin Show, which is a big deal here. We had the parade on Friday, could not ask for better weather for a Pumpkin Show parade. Definitely some of the best weather we had. The theme was Wild West, so we had cowboys, we had outlaws, we had horses, we had Native Americans, we had sheriffs. So we had a nice selection. So we have some pictures here of some of the costumes. They did a pretty good job. Somehow I ended up on a wanted poster, and a number of the sheriffs were trying to collect the $10,000 reward on me. They didn't quite get it, that they thought I had to give them the money if they caught me, but they did have a good time. So kind of glad Pumpkin Show's over. Now we're kind of on that post-pumpkin show week, but we're getting there. Today we had our fire prevention assembly. Fire prevention week was supposed to be last week, but with Pumpkin Show we kind of moved it. So it worked out. We had 4 members of the Bradford Fire and Rescue come. They taught kids how to do, what to happen with the smoke detector. I got volunteered to show them how to stop, drop, and roll. And then they also had one of their members dress up in their turnout gear, just so the kids are familiar with what a firefighter might look like if they would have to come into the house. We had 4 members during our first one. They had a squad call in between, so 2 of the members had to leave, but we did have 2 of the fire and rescue people able to do that. The kids had a great time. They were very loud. The fire department encouraged them to be very loud, but they were very responsive. And what was nice was a lot of kids remembered some of the things from last year. So the firefighters would ask them questions and they had the answers. So obviously they were getting it. And then for the elementary, we're proud to say that we received a 4 overall rating, which is exceeding state standards. Overall, looking at the various areas. We had 3 stars in achievement, which is how we do on state testing, 4 stars on progress, which is how students are making growth. 4 stars on gap closing, which means getting kids, closing that gap from where they are and where they need to be. Graduation and college career don't really apply to the elementary, and then 3 stars in literacy. So after talking to the elementary staff, there's 2 areas that we're really focusing on this year. We want to continue to close that gap. That's something I think we do very well. We want to continue to do that. And hopefully, especially by closing that gap in those lower grades, that will help the achievement in those higher grades do better, as the kids are more or less getting to the point where they're able to meet some of those grade level standards. And then we also want to work on early literacy. I mean, literacy is very much a component of basically everything. I mean, the test is a reading test, and we want our students to be able to read and understand. So we're really working hard on that. We have a lot of kids that we're servicing on reading improvement monitoring plans or GRIMPs, but our team is up for it, and we're really working hard on that. So.
Are you doing anything different, any different strategies this year?
So we actually have, we received a new literacy coach from Reed, Ohio. And she has brought in some new strategies. We've switched up some of the curriculum that we're using, and we're continuing to look at what we're doing for our intervention to make sure that we're hitting those areas as hard as we can. So we are doing some different things, especially with the literacy component. In terms of the gap closing, one of the areas, because we haven't really in the past had a gap closing plan, we've just done it and managed to close that gap. So now we're starting to think intentionally about, okay, where our students are, how do we close that gap from where they are to where they need to be? So in terms of, we want more of an intentional plan on how to do that, not just, oh, we're doing it because our teachers are doing what they do. We want to actually try to close that gap. I mean, I would love to be able to get a 5 on that gap closing. So that would definitely be an area that I think is achievable. In fact, when we saw the preliminary report card, we had a 5 in that, and then something happened and I don't know what happened, and we lost our 5. I want that 5 back. So I think that those are 2 areas that I think we would get the most bang for our buck in terms of trying to come up with a strategy that would be successful. We're already doing this well. I told when we had a meeting with the teacher,
So we had a couple big 2 weeks with homecoming and pumpkin show back to back. I don't have a ton of pictures of pumpkin show. The bigs don't get into pumpkin show near as much as the littles do. But all in all, it's still a very, very, very long, tiresome couple weeks. But homecoming is always great. The kids turned out. I mean, it was one of our biggest, it was the biggest Buff and Tough Powder Puff turnout since I've been here. So, you know, it was good to see all of the kids out there. It was a very good crowd. I think everybody had a really good time. Of course, the seniors always win, which if I were a junior, I'm not so sure how much I'd like that, as competitive as I am. But it was a great week, rolling into that Friday night for, change the slide. Had our homecoming king and queen candidates. I mean, I say this every single year, but it really is, we have great kids. And we had 5 guys and 5 girls that are just, you know, our epitome of what Bradford really is. And it's nice to see that the kids see that as well and vote them into those areas. King and queen were Riley Dotson and Mr. Jones there, Casey Jones, 2 great kids as well. Homecoming dance went great, didn't have any issues. We did have the junior high went to the Dark County Arts and Education up over at Memorial Hall. I wasn't able to go. I like going to those things, and I wish I would have been able to go because it was a lot of participation, not only by the teachers, but the students. They had the kids up on stage dancing and everything. They were encouraged to dance in bleachers. So the teachers that did go, I had 4 teachers that went with our 7th and 8th graders, and they just said the kids had a ball. And some of the videos that I wasn't able to put on here, I still watch and kind of giggle at a little bit because it's kind of fun watching 7th and 8th graders try to dance. But good time. Going over our state test results, achievement, we got a 2-star, which we've had the last couple of years. But our gap closing increased from a 2-star to a 3-star. So we're starting to make gains in that. Progress was a 3, but then our graduation and our college and career readiness were 5 stars. So, when I talk to my staff about it, yeah, we know we have areas of improvement. We know what we're doing. We're going to continue to look at data. We're doing our curriculum maps this year, which, I've been monitoring the progress of those. And honestly, I couldn't be happier with how those are starting to turn out and the questions and comments that are made by that, which only will help the data, especially the data, looking at data with the gap closing, but with the achievement. So when these two start to go up, which we are starting to see go up, this will then go up as well. So, we're closing that gap, we're getting to the achievement. But the best part about it, in my eyes, is the fact that we are graduating 98%, 99% of our students, and our percentage for the college and career readiness, they break it down. Anything from an 86 and above is at 5 stars. Well, we're at 91%. So 91% of our graduates are prepared to leave this institution ready to work, ready to, either go to college or join the workforce, which I think says a lot about, what we do. I actually, over a 2-county area, Dark and Miami County, we have the 3rd highest percentage in college and career readiness of anyone in these 2 counties. So, something that I'm really, really proud of. I know our staff is really proud of it. Takes a lot to track a lot of it, but we're seeing a lot of gains. So, any questions on the high school side with the 4 stars? Overall, we were a 4-star. The last few years, we've been a 3 and a 3.5. So we're trending upwards. Some upcoming events, we've got some 2-hour early releases this week for the end of the 9 weeks. Next week's bus safety. The week after that's book fair. There's an athletic boosters meeting. And then looks like Bob has some harvest parties on the 31st. DC trip is November 3rd through the 6th. Kind of a big week because there's the election in there. Plus a 2-hour early release on the 5th and then 6th. And 7th, there's no school, but on that Thursday, there's parent-teacher conferences. So we will have parent-teacher conferences from 8 in the morning until 7 in the evening. And then on the 12th, we have PTO meeting, and then the very next board meeting is on the 12th next month, which isn't that long, but we had to push this board meeting back because of the pumpkin show. Mr. Hunter wasn't able to be here tonight, but our girls do play tomorrow in the first round of the sectional tournament for volleyball at Newton, 5:30 game time. And then Kayla Clark, our junior high young lady, will be running in the junior high state meet. She finished 5th in the WOAC this year, which you think about all the girls that were running in that event, and she was 5th. That's beyond impressive. So good luck to her this Saturday as well.
Mr. Hurst?
I have a short update. We did have a question about one of our books in the library. We've got a team reviewing that. If any of you would like to see it, I've got it here with me tonight. You're welcome to give me feedback at any point if you do have it. Capital Conference, OSBA, is coming up November 16th through the 18th. I wanted to ask if anybody is planning on going.
Remember, we nominated Trey and Scott because they weren't
Yeah.
here last night.
I'll make the same attendance I did in the last week.
Yeah, well, if anybody changes their mind and wants a hotel room, it's probably too late, but we'll try.
When is that? The
16th through the 18th of November. It actually starts on a Sunday, Sunday afternoon. We don't typically go up on Saturday or Sunday, but we will go. I'm figuring on going Monday, Wednesday.
And no one has been registered yet, so we will do that. Hopefully we'll know tonight.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to go, tell us tonight. How's that? Greenhouse. We have been back and forth with our folks engineering the plans. They promised that we will get the knee wall plans this week. It's Wednesday, I'm nervous. But we will continue to push. We did have a resolution back in May at the 13th board meeting to advertise those as soon as we have those plans. So as soon as those do get in our hands, we'll be able to advertise. As soon as we get those in our possession, we can publicize those and start working on getting contractors in here. Hopefully, our goal is to get the footer and the knee wall done before snow hits. The best scenario would be get the greenhouse itself in over winter time or even yet this fall. And then this spring, when weather actually breaks, we can start planting stuff in there and start using it as soon as the greenhouse is ready to go. School meals, because we are giving free meals to breakfast and lunch for all of our kids, the meals counts have doubled. So more than doubled. So very pleased with that. And part of that, I've got a picture here of our grow towers. That's some lettuce in one of our grow towers that they're going to harvest day after tomorrow so they can use it in the school lunch program. Can't get any fresher than that. And it's grown here on campus. The kids are seeing it every day. I think it's an amazing piece. And the lettuce is, I'm not a vegetable person, but it's really good when it comes this fresh. So it's kind of cool. And I'm not going to hit real big on this one because I know Carla's going to talk about the tax changes or potential changes that are coming about in Ohio. I'll fill in a little bit where she wants me to in her presentation. Okay? Any
Yeah.
questions for me? That's all I have.
Jody, did you have anything? Because I skipped right over you accidentally.
No, they asked me to kind of
Right,
take over.
okay.
If there's something I really feel like, I'd like to share, I will, but
Okay.
there might not.
I just realized, oh, I missed Jody.
Oh, that's fine. I know, I noticed that too. And I'm like, oh, I didn't realize.
Okay.
Blame you didn't, I'm gonna blame you if you left.
I just have two things. One, for Upper Valley, talking about report cards, they had another 5-star rating. They met all 9 of their indicators this year, so that was really good. And they're having a ribbon cutting ceremony and a 50th anniversary celebration on December 4th, I think, Thursday. And it's at 4:00. So they're going to combine the ribbon cutting because the new addition with their 50th anniversary, and they have a bunch of things planned between now and then for their 50th anniversary.
Do you know what time that started?
At 4:00.
Okay.
Well, that's on my calendar. It might be 4:30. Because I usually put it on a little early. And I have nothing else. So I'll turn it back over to Dr. Swan.
Thanks. I apologize for that little office crisis and thought I was gonna get to Weston's game in here and I didn't make any of them on time. My apologies. Next is Carla.
Just a few things I want to talk about here tonight, and covering some of the things that Mr. Hurst and I have been doing together. October 2nd was our solar project kickoff, and we are learning what all will be happening on that. That's going to be a complicated process, but not a long-term process. So we're pretty excited about that. And it was exciting talking to the people because they seem very motivated and they love what they do. And that, I think, was one of the things that came out of that meeting. And we were pretty excited after that, but we're thinking, what's it, about 2 weeks till we start hearing something about the roofing portion of it. But that has to be done before the end of the year. They're going to stage everything on the roof, so that shouldn't be much of a problem as far as logistics, having people around. We have a special tracking system that we have to use with the state that's required, so we have to work with a company out of California on that. And so we'll keep you posted as that progresses. Now we have, you may have seen at the ball game, we've got the new credit card machine. We're using that in-house, and the whole goal was to allow credit cards, but also allow a lower price on that. We negotiated a good price on that situation, and we're also doing some things where we were doing expanded buying that you will see tonight on the board agenda with another consortium that we needed to go to because Walmart is changing all its situation, and they're going to become more like Amazon, I believe, as they work through it. So that's some of the things we've been dealing with. Also, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act is creating some havoc on some of the things we're going to have to retroactively figure, but we think we've got it under control. We've talked about what has to happen because even though that was passed in July, the retroactivity of a lot of those things that affect the district and our payrolls will be going back to January 1st. And there is nothing in the system that is equipped to handle that. So, but actually we've done a pretty good job of being able to go back and pull that together. So I feel pretty good about that situation. Now, the CEP, I'm just going to make one statement because it's wonderful. The feeding of the children, it's great to see them out in the hallway. The positive thing about it, and you may not have remembered this, but one of the things was if it didn't financially make what it needed to keep the cafeteria in the black, we were going to be concerned about it, and it might be something the board would have to offset. So far, we're in a perfect situation where it's actually doing extremely well. We're up, I'm trying to think, around 15% from where we were last year, which means the kids and children are getting nutritious meals. Cheryl's been great. She wants to be, what was it, a master gardener of some, she's taking some courses so that she can do better with hydroponics. And it's revitalized the way people are looking at some of the food in the district. The thing that Mr. Hurst alluded to was the state of Ohio changes. And that has been a dramatic problem. We are in the midst of finding out whether there will be a petition. It's gaining signatures for a repeal of the taxes that are paid on real estate. That's a serious problem, and that is looked at statewide. And there's a lot of discussion with the county auditors as to how that's going to be happening. There are about 4 bills at Ohio right now where they're talking about reducing our millage. And one of the problems we have as a district is that we have no millage to reduce, with the exception of the millage that we have with our note payments on the stadium and what's done there. So there's a limited amount of recourse they can take against us because we don't collect a lot of real estate taxes. But in the state of Ohio, it's required that you pay 20 mills in tax to be able to participate in state foundation. And that is just going to be a difficult problem statewide because right now there's around 400 schools that for agricultural and residential are at the 20 mil floor. So they're being very innovative at the state, and we may have to be very innovative in our way to explain this to people so that services can still be sought by individuals and we can still have police, fire, and some of the things that real estate taxes bring for us. So in preparation for that, and you'll see that on the agenda, there's a lot of tracking that's going on through the finances. It's been a rather interesting year on trying to keep everything up. And we're going to have to memorialize our capital improvement plan. We actually do have a capital improvement plan, but we haven't formalized it where I can give it to somebody and say, here's what we've done, where we've been, and where we're going. We have a set direction, but it's not one that we've been able to present to people in a document. So we're putting that document together and bringing it to you. I know that there was a PowerPoint at one time where we talked about various things, but we need to do that to show people that we have some money reserved for those projects, and we want to make sure that it's understood that everything we have collected is going for good purposes. So that's where we're at. It's been a very interesting process as we go through this, and we'll keep you informed. Mr. Hurst, do you have anything you want to add
No,
to
you
that?
covered. There is a meeting tomorrow morning. We're going to meet with administration from Miami County, treasurers, superintendents and such. Kind of come up with a collaborative plan to advertise and communicate what the implications of a tax change that is being circulated right now. So hopefully we'll have some good ideas. We've got a couple of letters drafted already that might help with that role. So we'll see how far we can get with it, but I'm sure we'll be throwing some ideas your way here soon and making sure we're all on the same page before we communicate anything widespread.
Now, there's actually two bills that are out of the House right now that are going up as far as the rollback of millage for inside millage, because we receive appreciation on property because of the limitations of the inside millage. They're just doing all kinds of things with the millage, and it's difficult to think about how they're going to totally wipe out a structure that's been in there for, and I'm trying to think how long real estate taxes have been in existence. So that's one part of the history I can't tell you tonight. But anytime you start to change a system that's been in place for a number of years, there's always unforeseen ramifications from that. And I'd just like to see them all move a little more slowly and work with taxpayers, because I think we're all very conscious that taxpayers need to be considered, and they need to be the ones deciding what they want as far as services. And if we can be very thoughtful about the process and take it a little slower, I think it'll be a much better situation.
So that was the change in the forecast?
No, the change in the forecast, a part of it is from the change in the forecast, and but part of it would be, this has been unusual. We've had a dramatic change in the number of children that we now have in preschool at Anthony Wayne. And it has been, I went back in history, it's been around the same place for about 10 years. It quadrupled. And that is a fairly significant cost, which wasn't accounted for. And I found it out after the forecast. And I feel like when I went through and talked with Dark County, it's something that I need to project. So I want to project those things. I want to be as careful with this forecast as possible because of all the things that are going on otherwise. I do not want to understate this forecast. I want the legislature, they are looking at these things. I want to be as close, and I want to have as much documentation as I possibly can. And if I have to change it 5 times and give the reasoning for it, I don't want it to be in a dynamic state where it doesn't have credibility. But by the same token, there are things that are happening now that may reduce our real estate taxes. There are things that may happen before the first of the year.
I figured that's what you were going to talk about. I thought that would be the thing. I didn't.
Well, it's not for certain, and I don't want to project something that I
Right.
definitely don't know. And that's why I'm cautious in how I'm approaching this, because we've had things that we thought were going to happen. Right now, we can have 100% carryover. At the end of the year, when we had to make decisions, we only had a 30% carryover that we could have, or we were subject to ramifications. I have never, in all the years that I've done this, seen such a changing dynamic to everything we're doing where we can't count on validity in the system. So I'm going along, and I don't want to say anything unless I affirmatively know that it's going to happen. I don't think it's responsible, because once you put something out there, it's there. everybody thinks about that. And so that's why I haven't, there are some definite things that are in the works in Miami County, but there are things that will have to be negotiated, and the negotiations haven't totally taken place yet. So I'm don't want to share something that might be untrue.
Have you ever existed in such a moving, dynamic environment in all your years?
I thought I had until I've gone through the last few months. And no, I can't say that I've ever seen anything that is working quite this way and is so encompassing that it's affecting the whole state, and every district is feeling a different situation from this. We're all talking about how we tell our own story because our stories are our own. I had a treasurer tell me, well, we can take care of this. We're just going to double the income tax. I said, well, that's not going to work everywhere. That is not a solution for everybody.
Right.
And the thing is, as this changes, the way the state works with the state foundation, it's a balancing act. So if you have high values in your district from your real estate taxes, you get less foundation money. And conversely is the way it works. So what happens if they wipe out the real estate taxes and we don't have those valuations anymore to look at? Do we all go on an even playing field? There's a lot that hasn't been thought about and how these work. So I'm really concerned that we're just throwing a bunch of things against the wall and seeing what sticks, and we're going to end up with a situation that we can't deal with. And it's been proposed in one spot, and this has just been speculation, but it was proposed in one place that we could see a 20 to 24% sales tax to replace this. That's what it takes to replace the real estate taxes we have here. So if you think about that from a reasonable standpoint, everybody along the edges will go next door. Nobody's going to want to buy a car if you're going to pay a 20% real estate or sales tax on it. It's going to have such a dynamic and such a problem on the whole situation on how the economy works here that I'm just hopeful that calmer minds will prevail. We can sit back. We need to target the people who are affected the most and try to foresight those people and try to take care of their problems, not just make a mass decision that's going to change everything. So, no, I have never seen anything like this. And I'm not sure that I want to live through this again because this has been a trying time. And I don't anticipate it getting better for a while.
It's unfortunate with all the other burdens and tasks of education, that the uncertainty of how things are going to move from our CFO gives us all kind of pause.
It's just very concerning because I feel like we were on such a positive trajectory for a while. And I'm not saying that we won't continue to be, but there's this black cloud that's going to hang over the whole state of Ohio and all the school districts until we can get some of this resolved. So,
I also think a lot of that was property taxes were set here, property values that went here. So now this income in the state is looking at that, and the property owners are like, hey, the school's income has went up exponentially with these property values. Their input costs have not went up. There has to be a balance there somewhere.
and I agree. I can see both sides of the
Right.
equation. That's what I think is hardest for me because I've always been able to understand. I understand why people are feeling such a crunch with the taxes the way they are. And it seems to be agricultural and residential taxes that have gone up so much. And I'll have people that say, hey, we don't understand why farmers complain. Well, a farm, when a farmer has those costs of real estate taxes, that's almost a direct input cost. And so that directly affects profit. And when you see the cost and of what those commodities are selling for today, then you have to have some concern that they have serious problems. So the real estate taxes have taken a tremendous leap upward in the last few years. There should have been some controls set in earlier,
agree.
so there wasn't this knee-jerk reaction.
And that's what's led to this, is what I'm getting at.
I understand. I mean, I understand completely. I know all about paying real estate taxes, and I can see it from both sides. But we let the thing get too far out of hand, and now we're just trying to blow up the system. That never works. You need to be very thoughtful in this process.
It
And
works for politicians, because where there's confusion, there's money to be made.
that's true.
So
That's very
it
true.
works, just not for you.
I think if we were really trying to help people, though, we'd analyze the problem. We'd look at exactly what impact it's having on people. We put ceilings on increases. We would look at some of those things, and those they've been talked about, but they haven't been implemented. So anyway, I'm sorry I don't have great news, but that's one reason I'm looking at this forecast, wanting to do some changes. I want, when a document is looked at by the legislature, I want that to be a fair representation of what's going on currently. So you never see me make changes, because I think twice a year is plenty, but we're not going through normal times. So, and with that, I conclude my report.
So next month, we'll be looking for more changes, right?
I hope we settle down at some point.
That keeps your job from being boring, I guess, right?
Making life interesting.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that. We appreciate your guidance and steering the district through these really challenging times. Your experience, I think, will help us to navigate it much better than most.
Well, I can tell you, it's very nice to have a superintendent that is wonderful to work with. And I've said this before, we're very like-minded, and I think that's going to help us get through a lot of these situations, because we'll take things into consideration as we move along and try to do the best for the community and the school all at the same time.
Yeah, keeping us updated is appreciated. Thanks. Did you have any public participation?
None.
So next is the financial reports from the treasurer, which is consent items 1 through 18.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, as typical. Number 4, that is a change due to some of the things I was talking about financially. I'm having to do a lot of tracking and moving of money to make it more viable when we do our state reporting. We have some donations that are number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, and number 10, number 11, and then we revised the 125 plan in conformance with the law. This is about the 5-year forecast, and I will be bringing you documents as I get extra information. And then we have, and this is another changing thing, we are voting on an amended retail electric service agreement, because there's been some changes at the EPC and our consortium, and they were able to lock in some rates, thinking that that's the best they're going to be doing for a while, because electric costs are starting to escalate a bit. So that is what 14 is about. 15 I talked about earlier with the cards, 16 is the same way, and 17 is actually a grant that we're going to be applying for, and then 18 is just a change fund for the book fair that's coming up.
Thanks, Carl. We have a motion to approve the items presented. Thanks, Scott.
I'll second.
And for a second, any discussions or questions for Carla? No, let's do a roll call for approval, please.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Biesecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Dr. Swab.
Yes. And we have no old business for this evening, but we do have new business. Joe, you could review the items you'd like us to approve.
Certainly. Number one, most of these are helps in different places here, but there's a couple highlights I wanted to hit. We loved our girls' basketball coach, but he went a separate way. Jason Watercutter, I've heard nothing but good while he steps into the program here and as a head coach for the girls' team. We also have a second shift custodian who's going to be joining the team because of 2 retirements coming up. So that is under letter C there, number 1. Number 2, we've got a student going to a unit in a different school. We're going to hop a ride with the Ansonia bus that goes there each day. Number 3, cybersecurity, we can never have enough, I guess, or too much. So there's some improvements there with that. Number 4, we have some long-term sub situations this year that we're expecting. One of them's already going on now. We know that long-term substitute teachers are hard to find, especially ones that'll do the grading and help with planning and do things that a traditional teacher would do. So this will help attract a few of them and maintain them through their journeys here with us with the additional expectations as a long-term sub. Number 15, we've got a cooperative purchase. I just went back to Carlos, I'm sorry. So that doesn't sound familiar.
That makes me feel better.
Sorry. Number 5, we've got a plan for gifted and talented. Number 6, we've got FFA members going to national convention. 7 is a continuation agreement for our athletic training services. Number 8, we've got a contract with Weibel to review our software, or renew our software, I should say. Number 9 is disposing of an old vinyl cutter that we don't use anymore that's broken and can't be fixed. And number 10, we have a grant that'll help us put new curtains on the stage and get rid of the old purple ones.
Purple ones?
Purple.
New purple
Yeah,
ones?
we'll do new purple. No, they will be black. They will be black.
That would be nice.
That's it.
Get a motion to, second for,
Second.
first and a second, Maria and Trey. Any discussion or questions? We have none. Roll call for approval, please.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Biesecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Dr. Swab.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing the non-purple curtains.
Us too.
Thank you very much. Next is a motion to enter executive session for item G1 on our agenda.
Someone?
And a second.
Second.
Thanks, Holly. Roll call for executive session.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Biesecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Dr. Swab.
Yes. So executive session at 7:21, and there'll be no action taken after the executive session.
And I have told Cody to go ahead and pack out the virtual